Hey everybody, how's it going? Hopefully it's nice outdoors where you're at. Here today it's pretty gloomy, it's dreary, it's not a lot of sunshine today, but hopefully it is where you're at. Um, Make sure that you are taking care of yourself during this holiday season. There's a lot of activity, a lot of busyness. Everyone gets very, very tired because we are right at the tail end of Q4 and fourth quarter. So make sure that you are taking the time for rest and rejuvenation so that you can get ready for your business in the new year. I wanted to tell you about the exclusive course release that I just did here, launching today, the Merch by Amazon Pinterest 10-day challenge. This is open to everybody. And for the last week, it was open as a kind of a pre-launch special of what I would call an early adopter program that I have started that has become pretty popular. And for those who were on the email list or they've purchased courses previously and were interested in this and they had already taken the free course, I had offered them the special for the early adopter program. As a result, there's been a lot of questions that have come in that have been really, really good. So I want to help you through that. And then we'll talk later about what's included in this Merch by Amazon Pinterest 10-day challenge in case you're interested in taking the challenge. Definitely grab it and use this as your guide to completely either set up your account from scratch or completely overhaul your entire account, and you can have it ready to go with your Pinterest marketing plan in place in January. It takes 10 days to get this done so that when January comes around, all you have to do then is just your maintenance, your monthly maintenance, and I show you how to do that. Let's talk first about some questions people had about boards, on how to create Pinterest boards. What kinds of Pinterest boards should we be creating as a business and as a brand? So hopefully by now you're understanding the importance of branding, and you are understanding the importance of thinking a little bit more like a business and less like the average Pinterest user. If you've been using Pinterest up to this point, you really have to think differently. Instead of saving interests that are your interests, you are now thinking as a business, and you are saving pins that are about your business. This is representative of who your business is and what you have to offer. That's basic branding that you want to get clear with immediately. As a business and as a brand, who are you and what do you offer? Anytime that a person sees a business, they see this through marketing, or they see this through just walking into a retail brick and mortar store, those are the two things that they are asking in their minds immediately. Now, here's the problem. If as a business and as a brand, you're unable to help answer those two questions to the shopper within a matter of 2 seconds, then you have just lost them. They don't understand who you are and they don't know what it is that you offer. They will walk out. They're gone. So it's really important that you get clear about that first and start thinking as a business, start thinking as a brand. And I think that's a big obstacle that people are facing when they are doing their marketing, and especially on Pinterest, because Pinterest seems to be lesser unknown to everyone. It seems to be an area of people not sure how to use Pinterest because they don't use it on a regular basis. So they're not sure how it's used. And then that gets confused with how a business uses Pinterest. So how you use it and how a business uses it is going to be completely separate. So keep that in mind. Okay, so if you're running it everything through the filter of your brand, of your business, that's going to guide you for creating all of your boards. Now, a big question that was asked was, should we create all boards that are product boards? And I think the confusion there is knowing the difference between boards and pins. So should you be pinning nothing but your product pins? Yes, actually you can. There is no rule that says that you cannot do that. In fact, because you are opening up your account as a business, Pinterest kind of expects that you would do this. And they have made specific arrangements and a lot of guidance and help on how to create your pins, how to get a call to action button on your pin. They have a free, area to read about that if you go read about Pinterest for Business. So it's very different than what you would as an average Pinterest user. You absolutely do want to pin your product pins. If you have blog articles that you've written, you want to pin those. Is there a ratio of how many pins you should pin that are your pins and how many are someone else's pins? There is no ratio. In the past, that's been a complete myth of it needs to be a 50-50 ratio or 70-30 or 80-20. And the reason why I say that is because last spring, in March, there was a representative from Pinterest that was interviewed. This question was asked, and on behalf of Pinterest, she verified that there is no rule about a pinning ratio. So if you want to pin only your pins and that's it, you absolutely can do that, no problem, okay? So what you can do is go over to Pinterest for Business, go ahead and Google that, and you want to go to the best practices if you want to find that really fast, Jim, to answer your questions about that. Get some reading on best practices for Pinterest. Do a quick Google. Okay. If you, here's the thing that Pinterest has said is that you need to prioritize your pins first, always. Always. So you prioritize your pins, all of your pins, product pins, blog post pins, whatever type of pins they are of what you're offering. You always want to prioritize that first. And you want to fill up your entire monthly schedule with all of your pins first. If you have room left over at the end of the month, then you can add in other people's pins. Make sure that they are complementary and that they are not in competition with your products. So here is another area I think that people don't understand what I mean about complementary. And it's real clear in the Pinterest, Merch by Amazon Pinterest 10-day challenge. I made it pretty clear of what that looks like of pins that are complementary. So if I am using a board, and this board is called Inspirational Coffee Sayings, okay? Now that board, you can put in your products. Let's say you have a t-shirt with a coffee saying on it that's just a nice inspirational saying. You can include that product into that board because your t-shirt has an inspirational saying. I can also pin other people's pins that are inspirational sayings. I can pin coffee sayings that could be inspirational. All of that would fit into that board. The other people's pins would be complementary. They would help enhance my products. They would not take away from it in any way. I would also maybe want to find some blog post articles that is a list post of 25 different coffee inspirational quotes. And I would want to list that entire article, a pin from that article, right inside of that same board. If there is any kind of DIY tutorials that would work, I would want to do that. Again, all it is a how-to article. It is not something that is going to be in competition with your products. What it would do is it would enhance your board overall, because your board is supposed to be the place where you curate everything that is about that topic. And you are wanting to give the ultimate collection so that a lot of people will want to follow your board and they become a fan. You can still keep that in alignment with your brand. So if your brand is all about inspirational coffee, or I don't know what it would be, something related to coffee is your brand, you could have that as one of your boards. You could fit in your product pins without a problem, plus other people's pins that are complementary, and that would enhance your board. Can you have just boards that are for your products only? Absolutely. In fact, probably a good 75% of your boards may only be that. It may only work out to where it just your products fit in it and that's it. That's completely okay. And there was some people who said, well, what about BuzzFeed? BuzzFeed does some things. If you go to some of the major brand Pinterest profiles, they actually don't do a lot of repinning of other people's pins. It's mostly their products and mostly their own blog posts. That's all that they're pinning, is just probably a good 99% of their own things. That's what a lot of the major brands out there are doing inside of Pinterest. And Pinterest verified that there is actually nothing wrong with that. So don't worry about it. Don't put rules there that aren't there. Don't overthink it. Don't get too concerned that you're going to break a rule or something bad is going to happen or that you're going to turn away people. Your Pinterest business account is your business. It is the representation of your business. So when people go to your profile or they go inside your boards or they look at your pins, you want to be able to relay who you are and what you have to offer very quickly in a way with a clear message that your customers will understand it. The faster that they can understand your products and what you have to offer, then they will be more likely to buy because they understand the product. Just this week, I don't know if anyone has done this, but if you read the comments on the Facebook ads, the ads that are running, if you click on the comments and start reading them, there's been a few ads that I've seen here lately where no one knows what is for sale. No one really knows what's being offered. And what's happening is, I imagine whoever is running the ads is spending a lot of money and it's really unclear. You know, I don't know what's for sale. So I clicked on the comments to read it, and guess what was in those comments? All of those comments said the same thing from probably 25 different people as, I don't know what you offer, but cool picture. You know? What do you want us to do with this? That is, and this is actually a major brand. This is not someone that is just a real small business. This is actually a major brand out there that I saw this, and people were commenting and saying, I'm not sure what you have to offer. I don't know what's for sale. I don't get it. I guess the picture looks nice, but they didn't understand it. And I thought it was a good testimony to see all of these comments of people who are actually confirming exactly what I was thinking in my head, is there is no clear message here. I don't understand this. Is there something for sale? What do you want me to do? Why am I looking at this? So read the comments on some of these Facebook ads, because it's going to give you a clue, and start looking at the ads that you're noticing through different lenses. Once you start looking at it differently, it's going to help you understand how to better do your own marketing. And don't make the mistake of using paid advertisement before you're ready. So if you don't have a brand in place with a very clear message in all of your products, your business as a whole, if you start just jumping into paid ads, you'll end up wasting a lot of money because no one can understand what your ad is about or what you have to offer. So that's probably the biggest piece of advice I could give you right there. The number one thing I hear all the time with Pinterest is, how do I get started with Pinterest promoted pins? They want to start running ads. And then I ask, well, do you have your account set up in a way to where it's clear who you are and what you have to offer? Do you have a logo? Do you have, keywords in your profile? Do you have keywords in your boards? All of that is important because, believe it or not, the information that is keyworded in your entire profile, all of your boards, and even in your pins, when you pin anything, that information goes right along with the link to the pin. And that helps the search engine understand of who should be looking at this pin. Now, when you put money behind that and you do Pinterest promoted pins, it's even more important that Pinterest understands, and I'm talking about the Smart Feed, which is a search engine, that the search engine understands what your pin is about, who you are, and what you have to offer on a regular basis. So there's two reasons why your branding is important now. Number one is for the customer. Number two is for the search engine. So the search engine knows who should be seeing your pins, especially your promoted pins. So think about that a little bit deeper as to why you really need to take the time to set up everything first before you begin diving into running any kind of paid advertisement. You're going to waste a lot of money is what I'm trying to say. And I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to make that mistake and waste a lot of money. You really want to do one thing at a time. The other part about that is if you keep doing this and if you wait at least 3 months, 6 months is even better, and even a year, you'll start to notice the traffic picking up and you'll begin to notice some sales picking up slowly. Pinterest is not a pressure cooker. And I think people think of it that way because when you run a Facebook ad, you're ready for some sales to boom right off the bat. And that actually isn't happening anymore with Facebook. It's become more challenging. Pinterest is very different, where it is a slow buildup, but once you get that ball rolling, it just keeps going and it brings you all kinds of traffic. But it does this organically. You don't even have to do promoted pins at all in order for this to work for you. And it will work for years and years and years. So if you're just very consistent month after month, you don't work at it for 3 months and give up or stop, which is what I see about 75% of the people out there do, is by month 3, they look at it and say, well, I haven't had a sale yet and I don't have enough traffic yet, so I don't think it's worth my time, I'm stopping. That's exactly at the point that you need to keep going, because you're probably about an inch away from getting that sale. You're about an inch away from getting that traffic in. And I would, everyone probably knows who have seen some kind of results somewhere of anything that you've worked on, is that you felt you were almost ready to give up right at the moment when you were about ready to have a breakthrough and see success. So don't do that either. That's a big mistake. So if you say, oh, I'm just going to commit to 3 months and that's it, it's not going to do you a lot of good. You really need to commit to this month after month after month after month for a while before you evaluate whether or not it's worth your time. And I have a feeling that you will see it differently at that point and realize, okay, this is worth the time, because I'm starting to see more traction on your products, on your sales, and it's happening organically. You don't actually have to spend money in order to get good traffic and good sales happening for you from Pinterest. Just make sure that you do all of your work first with your branding and your product pins. If you have questions, drop them down in the comments, especially about boards. That's been a big topic, a big question. And I hope that I was able to clarify a little bit better as to can you pin just your pins or anyone else's? Can you create boards that contain only your products and that's it? Absolutely you can. In fact, probably a lot of your boards will be. It's okay that you have a t-shirt board and it's nothing but your t-shirts. There is nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's probably the expectation since you are a business, right? I would not walk into Walmart and expect to find Target t-shirts being sold from Target in anywhere inside of Walmart, would I? It wouldn't make any sense. In fact, I would be really confused. Like, why are these t-shirts here with a price tag from Target on it? So think of it that way. You got to think of it from a business perspective. Also, if you pin only your product pins, a lot of people think that's spam. Selling products because you are a business is what you do. That's how you make a living. That's not spam. If you are offering something that solves a problem, enhances someone's life, and helps them, that is not spam. That's exactly what people are looking for. Don't be afraid to put your products out there that meets that criteria within your brand. That is not spam. And if you hold yourself back from doing that, you're only going to hurt yourself. Don't be afraid to step out there. Take a leap of faith and do it. That's what people are looking for. And they do not think of you as terrible or spamming if you pin a lot of product pins. In fact, they are ready to see what you have to offer next. And they're going to be listening, and they're going to start to gather around you because you're building a brand. They'll start gathering around your brand. They'll start paying attention. And every time that you launch a new product and you put it out there, they're excited. They're excited. There's something new. They're going to take, hopefully, if you've done a clear messaging on your pins and your pin description, they're going to take one of two actions. The first action will be they could save that pin into one of their boards so that they can find it later and act on it later. Or number two, they act on it immediately and they go to your website and hopefully they buy your product. If they don't buy your product, they could still save your pin for later because maybe they don't have time right now and they can go back to it later. That's how people use Pinterest, is they like to discover things that are new to buy, to make, to do. They love to go shopping there. If they cannot act on anything immediately, they will save it for later. And they will put it inside of whatever boards they have to keep their thoughts and their ideas and their new discoveries organized. So that's how people use Pinterest. But how a business uses Pinterest is completely different, completely different. So be careful not to get those two things mixed up. Okay, the challenge is here. Let's talk about it briefly and then I'll let you go. For the 10-day challenge, there is a lot of stuff that's packed in that challenge. There are 30 Canva pin templates. So if you don't know how to make a pin, the templates are there. All you have to do is just put your product pictures right in and it's pretty much done for you. You can get your pins done in a very, very short amount of time because you have templates that you can use. It also shows you how to create your own templates that you can reuse over and over and over again. There are done for you pin descriptions, done for you board descriptions. There are hashtags and keywords for you to use right away immediately. There is a huge database that I'm still adding more to and probably will be through the weekend, adding more to this database of keyworded board titles that you can select from. Do you have to only select from this database? Absolutely not. Go over to Pinterest, do some research within your brand, and you can select keywords to name your board titles and use in your board description. So be creative and think outside the box of how to create your boards. It does list and tell you exactly what types of boards to create, what kinds of boards to create, how to get a little bit creative with that. What else is included? Oh, step-by-step instructions. So if you follow it from day 1, 2, 3, and then step 1, 2, 3, 4, and you just keep doing it, you will have everything done in 10 days. That's all. When I originally graphed out this challenge, it was kind of difficult for me to sum everything up of what I've learned and what I've known in Pinterest in a very concise way. And that's what this is doing for you. I really thought it was going to take 3 weeks to do this challenge. And after I started writing it, I realized this is only going to take 10 days for you to get it done. So I thought that's even better. That is even better than 3 weeks. You don't have to spend an enormous amount of time on this to get everything up and running and going. You will have a pin strategy in place. I even show you how you can mark it all on your calendar, especially if you use a Google Calendar. All of the 5 tasks that you need to do every month, how to get it marked in your calendar so that it's just taken care of every single month with reminders to yourself. And that's it. It's as simple as that. So this stuff is not hard. It does show you how to pin manually. What pinning manually means is that you pin everything right inside of Pinterest. But an even better and faster method that I teach you and show you is how to use Tailwind. This is a scheduling app for your pins right inside of Pinterest. I hope that most of you choose to use Tailwind. It is the only tool with an approved API from Pinterest. So it's important that you use tools with an approved API, okay? There was one in the past called Board Booster that a lot of people were using. The API was not approved by Pinterest, and guess what happened last summer? Board Booster is no longer allowed to be able to be used on Pinterest. So everybody had to stop using Board Booster, and the only one that you can really use is Tailwind that has an approved API. But they also do a very, very excellent job with their scheduler. It will save you a lot of time, and you can get your whole schedule completed and done. So I've used Tailwind for a very long time, and I manage multiple accounts for clients as well as for myself. So this is the fastest and the easiest way to do this. This whole challenge is actually what I do when I complete an overhaul for someone in their business. And what's interesting is that I was just wrapping up an overhaul that I was doing for a company right at the same time that I was beginning to write this challenge. So it was real easy for me because I do this, all the time, of these overhauls and putting everything in place. It was real easy for me to just write down on a piece of paper exactly what I do. All of the steps that I do repeatedly, month after month after month, for a company, for this company, for that company. And it was fresh in my mind and had it put together quickly for you. Okay, if there's no questions, I can let you go for now. Definitely join us in the 10-day challenge for Birch by Amazon sellers. This is going to help you build your brand and give a new direction for you in the new year. Also, I just released probably at least 10, I didn't count them. There had to have been at least 10 keyword and hashtag lists. So there's a link above where you can find all of the keyword and hashtag lists. I've released Valentine's Day, Mardi Gras. I can't remember all of them that were listed. Let me look really fast to see what they are in the database here. There was a lot of them. Okay. Other things like wait for the new year, because that's going to be a hot topic in January. Goals, resolutions, Super Bowl, Valentine's Day, Mardi Gras. I think I said those two already. So a bunch of those that are going to be very popular in Q1 was just released. And here's the good news. It's only $1. So you might want to jump over there, and there's a link above, and grab them for $1. You can't beat that price, right? So if you have some Valentine's Day pins and boards that you're creating, pins that you want to put in there related to Valentine's Day, definitely go over there and get that list of Valentine's Day researched keywords and hashtags for you. So, or you can also use them to help you create products. If you don't have products up now, I suggest you do that immediately, because people are already saving those pins for Valentine's Day, and they will probably start taking action on purchasing those products after Christmas. So definitely do that now. Okay, I will let you go. Have a great rest of your day.